today. I'm doing this show on a personal decision that I made a long time ago that I feel has impacted my life in an extremely positive manner. I chose to not have kids until I was married. Now, when I think about all the group of friends that I have, I think I'm the only one that made that choice. Everybody else around me, they had kids. Most of us, we were out of high school. Some were in college, some slightly after college, but most of them chose to have kids before they were married. Somebody asked me, as I was talking to a group of young men, they asked me about some of the choices that I made, good and bad. And it came back to me that this was one of the best choices that I made, and I came to this choice at a very young age. When I think about why I came to the choice, it's painful in some ways to relive, because I came to that choice because I grew up without a father. And because I grew up without a father, I said to myself that I would never put my children or my child in that situation, because I knew the pain. And I think that a lot of times men are taught, even though we go through that pain of not having a father, we're taught not to express that pain and not to talk about it because it makes people around you or it makes your mom or whoever feel uncomfortable. But to suppress that pain can lead to a lot of bad things, drug abuse and different things in men, because naturally men need to know their lineage. Men throughout time are able to trace back. I am the son of so-and-so, who's the son of so-and-so, who's the son of so-and-so, who's the son of so-and-so. And that's how you build an identity, by understanding your lineage. And when you cannot trace back your lineage, or you don't truly know the type of man that your father was, or you only met your father a few times, it lends itself to growing up without having the ability to attach yourself to things that are positive within your heritage or within your bloodlines. I remember being at school and having to constantly lie about what my father did and where he was, and my dad was an astronaut and a basketball player, and he was on the water polo team of the '68 Olympics. Anything else that you can think of to create an image that made you feel good about yourself, because it just wasn't there. And especially the school I went to, almost every kid had a dad, or had a dad who was present in the home, and their parents were married. So it was just a few of us that didn't. So that really prompted you to have to lie about those things, and you felt horrible about it. And you think about it, that everybody around you, especially the teachers and stuff, they had to know that you were lying. But they let you carry on that lie, and you carried on that lie. And then after you got old enough to feel that you didn't have to carry on that lie, you still carried that pain. You still carried that pain. Even if you didn't express it, you carried that pain. So I told myself from a young age that I am going to make sure that the woman who has my children will always be a woman who I feel is good enough to be my wife. There is no woman that was going to be good enough to have my children that was not going to be good enough to be my wife. I don't put that choice on everybody. That's the choice that I made. But because I made that choice, it opened me up when I was ready to get married to having a broader variety of women that I could choose from. Because a lot of women that I know or that I dated wouldn't date men who had kids. And me being the same, I didn't want to date a woman who had children, because I could see in my friends all of the strife and the pitfalls and the dealing with, the father of the kid and different things. The only thing I said to myself, that if I did, the woman would have to be absolutely exceptional in every way. And then the father would have to be 100% out of the picture so I could fully assume the role of a husband and a father to our kids to be in her kids. Anything beside that situation wasn't going to happen for me, and I wasn't looking for it to happen. So I chose to take a route more traditional, and because I took that route, I think that my life has been a lot easier than a lot of my friends, because a woman that you're in love with at 18 or 19 or 20 may not be the type of woman that you would want to have a relationship with at 30 or 40. And typically it isn't. So they end up with a child with someone who they can't stand. They end up paying child support to that woman or multiple women who they have children with. So by the time they're mature enough to think about taking on a wife, they're already hamstrung financially. So she's taking on those kids along with any kids that they may have, and he's only bringing home 60% of his income now. And I look at all those things and I think that in life you always have pivotal decisions and pivotal times that you make those decisions. One decision that I would say for any young man out there is, first of all, decide to turn your phone off before you make a video. Second of all, think about and try to project yourself years from the time that you're sleeping with the woman, and ask yourself, is this woman that I'm about to sleep with, is this the type of woman that I would marry? Is she good enough to be my wife? Because if you say she's not good enough to be your wife, which is a situation that you can change, because you can get a divorce and you can change that situation. But anybody who's not good enough to be your wife is probably not good enough to be the mother of your children. Women, think about the kind of man you're with. Is this the type of man that I would want to marry? And if you say no, then you probably want to take all the proper precautions before you sleep with that man. If that man has multiple children with multiple women, the chances of him taking care of your children are pretty slim, because he's not taking care of the ones he has most of the time. When a man respects himself, he only puts himself in certain situations. I had to be taught to respect myself, because for men, that's not something that people typically tell you about, respecting yourself. Women are often taught to respect themselves. For me, I respected myself enough to know that my children will all be with the same woman, and that woman's title will be wife and mother. In that order. Not in a different order. She will be my wife, then she will be the mother of my children. Period. As you go on in life, young men, take these roles serious. Because too many times you find yourself in a relationship with someone down the road that you don't care for. Women the same. Don't find yourself in a relationship with a man that you don't care for, that doesn't care to take care of his children. Not to preach to anyone, but there's a way to do things. And there's always choices you make. And choices you make will dictate how easy your life is or how tough your life is. It was an easy choice for me, and it would be an easy choice for you. But think about it. Don't have children unless you are married or in love with that person, and that person is a good person. And even if the relationship doesn't work out, that's not the type of person that's going to try to harm you or harm you through the children or do things that are going to ruin your life. Make good choices and good things will happen to you in your life.